So this is your first video for today's classwork, and we want to make sure you take some notes. You've seen this strategy already. It's where we go ahead and factor out a GCF, but I want to make sure that we are using a faster strategy for you all. So right here we have a polynomial, 7x to the fourth plus 14x cubed plus 21x squared, and it's asking us to factor each of these and making sure we get our final answer in factored form. So remembering that in factored form means we have these two parentheses. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and show our first method that I've taught you before. So method 1. Right, so method 1 is where you write each factor, or not each factor, each term in expanded form. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to use the different colors to help you all see this. So we have 7x to the fourth power, and then we have 14x cubed, and then we finally have 21x squared. Okay, actually I might use a different color, maybe green, to help us see that button better. Okay, so here I'm going to write out 7x to the fourth, and you have all seen this. You know you have to get these into its prime, so that's 7 times x times x times x times x, and then 14x squared is 14x cubed is the same. 14 as its prime is 2 times 7, and then we have x times x times x in its expanded form, and then we have 21x squared. That is the same as getting 21 in its prime, so we have 3 times 7, and then we have times x times x. All right, so many of you know this already, and then you know to find what are the numbers or variables that they have in common. So we can clearly see they have an x, all three of the terms have an x in common, and then we can see that they have, or not an x, a 7 in common, and then they have another x, and then they have another x, and that's it. So then our GCF is whatever we have left over here. So our GCF is 7 times x, because those are the only ones they have in common. And when you multiply that out, that ends up being 7x squared. Okay, so that is our GCF. But that is not what our answer is. That's not what we want our answer to be. We have to find the parentheses we have to write our answer in parentheses, so making sure that's in factored form. So a way to help you see this is with a box as well. So you could draw a box with 3 different sections, because we have 7x to the fourth, and then we have 14x cubed, and then we have 21x squared. Okay, so just so you all can see these colors as the same. So that's what this term is, and then we have our middle term, and then our last term. Okay, and so I'm going to go ahead and put the GCF, right? So it's 7x to the squared, and that goes on the side, right? And so we have to think about 7x squared times what will give us 7x to the fourth. Well, we know that is just x squared, and then 7x squared times 14x cubed. Or 7x squared times what will give me 14x cubed? That is 2 times 2x. So 2x times 7x squared will give me 14x cubed plus 3. Because 3 times 7x squared will give me 21x squared. So my final answer in factored form looks like this. Okay, so that was just a quick review over that method, but I'm going to show you a second method, method 2, as a faster way to finding the GCF without expanding. Okay, so method 2 just means to find the GCF of the coefficients and select, I should say, select each variable with the lowest exponent. Okay, so let's say I list this out one more time. Okay, so I have, so this is the second method. So let me just go ahead and draw this. So, okay, so just think this is our second method so you can see this a little better. So let's just say that I have here again, so I write down 7x to the fourth, I write down 14x cubed, and then I write down 21x squared, right? Because those are all the terms that I got from my original problem. Now I want to find the GCF in a faster way. So the best way for me to do that is I look at 7, I look at 14, I look at 21. So basically the numbers in front of each variable. So 7, 14, 21, the GCF for all of these is just 7. Okay, so if I just look at the values itself, that's equal to 7 as the GCF. And then here, I notice that they all have a variable x in common, and it is, I have to pick the one with the lowest exponent, and that's going to be x squared. And there's my GCF. I notice I didn't do any expansion. All I wanted was the GCF in this case. And then you would do the same process with this little side box, and I'll get 7x squared, the same answer. Okay, and that's it. All right, so I'm going to expand in on this second problem here. So let's do this in a faster way. So I'm going to go ahead, I'll use the same color coordination. So this, here's my first term, 15a to the fourth power times b, and I'm going to use, and then I'm going to focus on 25a cubed b squared. Okay, don't worry about the subtraction sign. Don't worry about making these negatives or anything for right now. So then, in this case, I would go ahead and write down negative 15a for a to the fourth power times b, and then I have 25a cubed b squared. All right, so without even expanding, I'm going to find my GCF. So my GCF, okay, so I look at, oh, I don't know why I wrote down negative 15. That's a mistake. Okay, all right. So 15 and 25, the GCF for 15 and 25 is 5. And then I look, okay, they both of the terms have an a variable, so I pick the one with the lowest exponent, and that will be part of my GCF, so a cubed. And then here I have b and b squared, right? So I have to remember when there's no exponent, really, there's a 1. So the smallest, since they both have a b in common, then I can include it. And it says b to the first, so that is the smallest exponent. So this is my GCF, okay? So then I have to make sure I write it in factor form, so I can go ahead and draw a box if I need to. And since I have 2 terms, I'm going to have 2 sections. So I have 15 a to the fourth times b, and then negative 25 a cubed b squared. Okay, so then I have to work in reverse. So since this is my GCF, so I have 5a cubed b. I think about 5 times what gives me 15? Well, that is 3. And then a cubed times what will give me a to the fourth? Just a. And then b times what will give me b? Well, 1, but I don't have to write it. Okay. And then here, 5 times what will give me negative 25? Well, negative 5. And then a cubed times what will give me a cubed? Well, 1. I don't have to write it, so that's okay. And b times what will give me b squared? And the answer is b. So my answer in this case is 5 cubed b times 3a minus 5a, or 5b. Okay. And that is my answer. All right, so that's it for this video. What you have to do next is I want you all to try that second method in finding the GCF here. So first find the GCF, and then second, making sure your final answer is in factored form. Okay, I'll be checking for those answers. You'll notice when you click the next video, or right now, if there's going to be a green button, click on that to submit your answers, and you can move on to Delta Math. Delta Math Video 1 Practice. All right, do those problems there, and then move on to video 2. All right, that's it. Bye.